Hi, this is Mashnu, and I would like to show you an endgame that I played last week in the league competition, the first round of the league competition. This is the position that we reached after 41 moves, and it's white to move here. I was playing white here, and well, perhaps you would like to have for yourself a short look first at the position. You can pause the video if you like and see what would you play with white here. So the thing in this position is that black is has some winning chances because of the fact that the pawn structure of black is a bit better than the white's pawn structure. If we count the so-called pawn islands, we can see that black has 1, 2, 3 islands, and white has 4 islands, 4 isolated pawns. So there are more weakness in the white pawn structure than in the black pawn structure. The threat of black is to trade the bishops. He's threatening bishop takes d3, and after that, after king takes d3, then advance with the king to f5 and then to g4 and capture the h-pawn, and then he has this strong weapon, the h-pawn, that will advance. So that means that here white should not trade bishops. There are different ways of avoiding this trade of bishops. Of course, we need to stay on this diagonal, so we have 5 possible moves, and believe it or not, only one of those 5 moves is correct. In the game I chose for the wrong one, and I find this moment actually very instructive because it shows how subtle sometimes mistakes can be in the end game. Let me show you what happened in the game, and after that I'm going to show you the correct continuation in this end game. What I did is I played bishop to e2, and after bishop to e2 my opponent played bishop to c2, attacking my pawn on a4. So I advance the pawn, and then he plays king to f5. The bishop on e2 is guarding g4, so that the king cannot advance to g4, but he's attacking f4, so we need to defend that one. King to e3, defending the pawn. Now here comes the clue of black's strategy. He plays now bishop to e4, attacking the pawn on d5, and there is in fact no way to save the game already. Here first I calculated what happens if I play bishop to c4, and I came to the conclusion that if I would play bishop to c4 here, it's not what I did in the game, but if I would have done this, then he can play bishop to h1, and in fact I am right now in a Zugzwang position, because black is threatening on one hand to enter here, and on the other hand I cannot move the bishop to e2 back to prevent this entrance because the bishop is attacking d5. My king is bound to the defense of f4, so that means that here with white we don't have any good move to make. This is a lost position. So for example after bishop to b3, then king to g4 simply wins. After calculating this, I thought, okay, let me try something else. Perhaps it will work if I try some tactics by giving a check on g4. So I played bishop to g4 check. This is also losing in fact, but I just wanted to see if this could work. Perhaps I could persuade him to take on h4, then go with my king to d6, capture d6 and have this passed pawn, but my opponent played it very accurately. He played h5 first. My king cannot enter into the enemy camp yet. So I played a6, he played g6, I went king to e3, and now he took on h4. I tried f5 here, but it's still not enough. He plays it very correctly, king to g5, and now after trading here the endgame is totally won. For black, he has this pass pawn, and after I try to stop the pawn, he will go to my pawns. It was the last game of this competition, of this match. All the other players already had finished their games, and I continued a bit longer, but this was actually lost. Now let me return to the initial position where I started. So that's here. So bishop to e2 is a losing move. The correct way to play this, I analyzed it, and it's bishop to b5 actually. The difference is that with bishop to b5 I'm already defending a4. So that means that a move like bishop to c2 doesn't win a tempo. So here white can play king to e3, and if the king goes to f5, then bishop to d7. The bishop now, the white bishop, has two functions, two tasks that he can perform, preventing the black king from entering on g4 and also defending a4. So here there is no way to make any progress for black. The king must go to f6, for example, and then we simply go back with the bishop to b5, and there is no way of making progress for black. So this was actually the way to play this endgame. And I'll go back to the initial position again. If we start here, you see how these subtleties work. It's just one tempo that is important, and the position of this bishop is on b5 and d7 actually much better than on this part of the board where I placed it on e2. So that was another, let's say, tough lesson for me. I lost the game, but we won actually a bit more of knowledge about the endgame. That's the most important thing. When you lose a game, really take your time to analyze and to figure out, to try to understand where this game went wrong. So alright, I'll want to thank you for watching. I hope you found this an interesting and instructive example, and I hope to win the next match. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Goodbye.